Using the Haylou GT2s now for a week. It's time I give them a full and thorough review, but I also want to say that I am going to be doing a 1 month update. So if you want to see how these headphones stand up to being my like daily driver headphones that I use the most, subscribe and you guys can catch that next video in 3 weeks time. Now, just like all of my other reviews, we're going to start with the design. And the design of the case is very reminiscent to that of the XIAOMI T1C. It's a little bit smaller than the XIAOMI T1C, although it does house an identical size battery. It does come with a non-detachable USB female or USB-A port. So you can go ahead and plug this into your computer, or your phone charger, whatever you may have to charge these headphones. You're not going to be needing to charge them very much because I was getting about 4 hours, maybe give or take. I wasn't listening to my music particularly loud, so you could possibly get closer to 5 hours. If you're listening to it louder, probably closer to like 3.5. But I would say more than 3.5 hours for most use cases. Now, there's no indicators that tell you how much charge you have left on the case. There's one charge indicator that lets you know if you have any charge left whatsoever. Look at the bottom of the headphones. You'll see that they have the same bottom mold as the original Haylou GT ones. Now, it's important to note, I tried putting them in the other cases and Haylou decided to go ahead and reverse the magnets. So if you have a broken case, for one, you have to still get another case as a replacement, which is kind of a bummer. The plastic used on the construction of the case of the Haylou GT2 is pretty solid feeling. Moving on to like the headphones and their feeling, I am kind of unsettled by it. Like they don't necessarily feel cheap. Like these are $16 headphones, but they don't feel like as husky and like robust necessarily as the XIAOMI T1Cs or the Huawei T10C. And I'm going to be doing an under 25 video coming up this week. So my top headphone picks I've used under $25. The Haylou GT2s have a button instead of the touch sensitive area. And actually on a earbud this size, I prefer the button layout. It's much easier to feel and activate, and the button doesn't take a lot of actual like force to depress. Identical to the size of the GT1s, so having like a more defined switch area is really, really needed kind of in like day-to-day use. Now, time to charge, these probably took 45 minutes to an hour to charge the case. I never run this stuff down like all the way. Whatever the like tested times are, it's gonna be close to that. I did notice that the headphones recharge relatively quickly, so if you actually kill these in a listening session, if you let them charge up for 10 to 15 minutes, you'll see that it's 50% charged in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So overall, pretty good. Latency. Latency on these, playing PUBG, identical to the latency on the Haylou GT1s. I didn't really notice any difference in performance. And even when switching to AAC audio codec when switching to SBC as opposed to AAC, no significant difference with that, like in the lag experience. I'll play the clips for you guys right now.
Reloading. That much inertia for them to pull themselves out of your ears. Now, if you guys are looking to buy these, I'm going to have links to where I can find them in the description down below. If you want to read about these, go ahead and check out my website. I will be up.
Definitely a pronounced lag. It doesn't make watching YouTube videos necessarily unbearable, but it's not as good as other headphones I've tried, and it's just kind of middle of the road. Now, range, I went outside, we did the standardized range test. It definitely exceeded 10 meters of range with like direct line of sight, and I was more than happy with the range with them so far. It is worth noting though that if one of the headphones, or the primary headphone being the right side, is directly covered, you are going to get dropouts, you know, maybe even before that 10 meters of range. I want to interrupt this video really quick. I'm going to have a link down below to my website where I'm going to have where you can find these for like the cheapest price, and I'll have a couple different options on my website. So if you guys want to go ahead, click that link and it'll take you there to where you guys can find these for the best price. Let's go back to this video. Microphone on these sounds pretty close to what it is on the Haylou GT ones. I couldn't really notice a difference.
That is the Haylou GT2s on a busy street microphone test.
And I find using a wired headphone that has the microphone next to your mouth is usually a better outcome. Now let's talk about kind of my experience using them for a week so far. The fit, if you have the right size plugs for them or the right size ear gels, the fit's good. Bass is really, really strong bass. And I gotta preface this by saying none of the headphones I've tried, like under $25, have really impressed me. Sound quality on the Haylou GT2s is identical to that of the Haylou GT1s. I didn't notice a difference. What that means for you, you're gonna have a lot of bass, pretty thumpy. You're not gonna have very much in the way of definition of that bass. So if you're listening to like rock music or you're listening to like music that's got more instrumental stuff, if it's in the lower part of it, those bass frequencies are just gonna be like squished together. Highs aren't shrill. They do sound pretty kind of hollow, I guess would be the best way to say it. The highs, again, they're not bad. They don't give me a lot of definition in the overall sound of the headphone. But when I was listening to like electronic music and hip hop music, I found that the Haylou GT2s were like totally acceptable for their price. Pairing them directly up against the XIAOMI is going to be a video I have coming up as well. But there was just nothing about the Haylou GT2 that necessarily stood out to me as being like tangibly better than these other headphones. One thing I did notice a few times when using these was dropouts between them and my device. My device a couple of times had to reconnect with these for their Bluetooth signal. That's not something I've ever really encountered with the Huawei or any of my other headphones really. So the like signal strength and signal quality for these was probably average at best. And I think that's maybe the best way to kind of sum up the overall experience of these headphones, right? When I'm comparing them to the QCY T1C, there isn't that great big of a difference. When I'm comparing them to the original Haylou GT1s, I like the button controls, you know, because they're smaller headphones, whereas the touch controls were a pain to use. The battery life doesn't, like, the battery life is good, but it doesn't like astonish me. The sound quality, again, is just kind of middle of the road, cheap headphone sound. The build quality, again, it doesn't stand out to me as something that's like as good as the Huawei T10C, because when you open up the Huawei T10C, they feel much more premium, and they have the Qi wireless charging and the indicator lights, and these are like pretty much the same price as these. They don't necessarily feel as like robust and like durable as the QCY T1C, and I will be doing, you know, like I said, a follow-up with these in another 3 weeks about how I felt about them. But like overall, I guess people are going to want to know, is this worth it for your money? Would I buy them? And I think that all of these headphones are like very, very similar. The GT2 is in many ways just like a cheaper version of the GT1, but they feel better in some ways than the GT1. So if you're looking to get any of these headphones, my preference is something I'm gonna reveal in a later video, but like if these are the cheapest version out of the headphones I've mentioned, then buy these. If another one is the same price, then buy the other one. I can't necessarily tell you to buy these, but I haven't had any bad experiences yet that would tell me to go and tell you not to buy them. So I think these are just average headphones at best, a decent pair of headphones at under $22, I think. And I will go ahead and I'll be doing the follow-up video in regards to this. As always, you guys can check out written content on my website, follow me on Twitter, and until next time, it's been Mitchell. Peace.